Look, $8. That's $8. That's all I'm asking. $8 to move the needle. And kind of the impetus for this episode of the STR Unfiltered podcast, and by the way, my name is Bill Faith. Thank you for joining me. Is really just some dialogue in my Build Short-Term Rental Wealth Facebook group this morning, which basically started about murals and stuff like that. But someone in North Georgia came in and was talking about bookings. And so the North Georgia mountains for most people are very slow right now. It's slow in Beach Mountain in North Carolina as well. It's slow for a lot of people in Broken Bow. Here's what's really interesting about those three markets. North Georgia mountains, Blue Ridge, Ellijay, Hiawassee, the Boone to Banner Elk, Seven Devils, Beach Mountain area, and Broken Bow. There's major cities all within 2 to 3 hours of driving distance that funnel the majority of the traffic that come into those towns. The problem is most people are just sitting around waiting for those bookings to come in on Airbnb and Vrbo. Number one, most of you aren't using RankBreeze and you don't know where you rank, and you don't know really how you're price competitive to your competitors. You need to know that stuff. There's no question, because if you're priced 20% higher and ranked 3 pages lower than them, you're really never going to get an opportunity. Even if you're on page 1 in those markets, you may not be seeing bookings. And that there's a myriad of factors that can implement this. But the one thing is, if you're getting reports and you track the volume of people that are searching in your market, then you can really see those trends. And that's something that I started tracking as things really started to slow down in Gulf Shores. And, it's interesting. I think it was the second week of June of 2021, there was like 29,000 searches for properties in that week, just for Gulf Shores, right? 29,000 searches. So divide that by 7, you're talking 4,000 or 5,000 searches a day just for Gulf Shores. That's a lot of volume for one small, I won't call it a small market, but one market. Fast forward to November of 22, and there was like 890 searches. The demand is much, much lower. The saturation, the influx of new builds, if you saw in my State of the Industry at the STR Wealth Conference, I don't remember the exact numbers. I think it was up like 41%. Don't quote me on that. You'd have to go back and look at the presentation from there. So there's been this dynamic shift. It's not good enough, specifically in these markets, when you have these major cities, Broken Bow, Dallas, Texas, Beach Mountain, Boone, Banner Elk, Seven Devils area. You've got Charlotte and Raleigh, Durham. And you've even got Johnson City's only an hour away, but a smaller town. Raleigh, Durham, Charlotte, couple hours, 2.5 hours away each. There's a little town called Atlanta that's between an hour and 15 minutes to roughly 2 hours away, depending on traffic, and if you're in Peachtree City or Northgate or wherever, North Point, wherever. So I'm just going to focus on the North Georgia mountains for a minute. A lot of people think that Kenny Bedwell and I on the STRnomics podcast that we do together pick on Logan, Ohio, pick on North Georgia. Well, you know what? North Georgia was an awesome place to invest into in 2020. Not so awesome in 2021 and 2022 because everybody flooded in there, which has happened in every single market, just FYI. It's not one market. It's not just Broken Bow or North Georgia or Hocking Hill or Logan, Ohio or anywhere. It's what's happened with the entire industry. It was shiny key syndrome. Everybody saw that this was the number one asset class to invest into, so they started investing into it. People started finding out about the loophole and cost segregation benefits from a tax perspective, and people starting investing into short-term rentals. With all that being said, those types of investors shouldn't be impacting us. I've seen almost no impact except for in one location, which is Beach Mountain. And that's why I'm selling my property in Beach Mountain. I am exiting that market. I'm exiting that market because I can tap into $173,000 in cash and redeploy that into a better investment. Not necessarily because I believe I'll never, have a great property in Beach Mountain. Is it tougher there today than it was a year ago? Yes. Did I hit my $25,000 in expected revenue in the first year? No, I did $87,000. Was it still profitable? Yes. All those things being said, if you're going to stay into a market and you're not hitting your numbers like a lot of people in the North Georgia mountains are, a lot of people in Beach Mountain, North Carolina are, a lot of people in Broken Bow are not hitting their numbers as well. We've got to take that into our own hands. And here's what I explained to this person and really people in this thread. $8 a day. $8 a day Facebook ad strategy. That is, and for North Georgia, that's $5 going into Atlanta and $3 going into Chattanooga. Now, of that $5 that you're going to spend in Atlanta, I need $1 of that spend going to retargeting ads. So you're really going to have $4 going to your primary ads that you're going to send. And the one thing I don't want you to do is I don't want you to just go post onto your business, your property Facebook page and then boost. What I want you to do is I want you to go in and actually create an ad. So you've got to learn how to use the ads manager, the business manager. When you've done that, then you can set up and you really want to have 3 ads. So you could have your primary ad. You could design that in Canva. I prefer video, but then you're going to want to back that up with 1 to 2 retargeting ads. And that's where that last dollar comes from. Because where most people fail and they say that Facebook ads don't work is when they literally deploy one ad. So think about this. How many times have you seen an ad before you've decided to buy? It could be a billboard. And you see, like, car dealers really know how to market, right? So if you think about the car dealer in your neighborhood where you live, and let's just say I live right next door to a gentleman that owns Cadillac and Jaguar, but Cadillac, he's the largest Cadillac dealer here. I see his television commercials. I hear his radio commercials. I see the billboards. He sponsors the Nashville Predators. He's everywhere because it takes multiple touch points, multiple impressions before somebody's going to decide to buy from you. But even before they decide to buy from you, like in our case, they've got to decide to click through to your listing to take a look. So that's why it takes time. And that's why we need to have retargeting. I forbid you, if you guys watch Shark Tank like Mr. Wonderful, I forbid you from running Facebook ads or doing any advertising unless you have retargeting backing it up. Because all you're going to do is waste your ad budget. And you really need to focus on your creative, and you should not be selling. You should be seeding the idea. You should be seeding the emotion of how amazing it would be to stay at your property in your location. And that starts with all the activities around your property, and then your property becomes second. So back to the semantics here. $8 a day, excuse me, $5 for all of you in North Georgia. $5 is going into Atlanta. $4 is going to your primary ad set. $1 is going to retargeting. In Chattanooga, that leaves us with $3. That's $3 that we're going to put, $2, to our primary ad and $1 in retargeting. Those are the 2 closest cities that are accessing your market. And you really probably don't even need Chattanooga. You could get away with $5 or $6 in Atlanta. I just like to have multiple options, and I want to test the markets against each other. It's not rocket science. He who creates the best ad, he who has the best copywriting and the best creative will win. It's that simple. But also, you're going to win just by doing it because 99% of the people in your market are not going to do it. Now, if you are in Beach Mountain, I would be doing the exact same strategy into Charlotte and into Raleigh, except for I would divide that in half. I would do a 4 and a 1 into each market. If you're in Broken Bow, yeah, you can go into Tulsa, but I'd be putting my eggs into the Dallas and Fort Worth market. And I would separate Dallas and Fort Worth, just like Raleigh and Charlotte with Beach Mountain. Broken Bow, I'd put $4 into Fort Worth, $4 into Dallas, and I would test it. The cool thing is, excuse me, I apologize, is that you can now go into Facebook and they have a thing called dynamic creative, to where if you can put in a couple of images, a couple of videos, you write a couple of different headlines with ChatGPT, You write your copy and your actual ad, the body of the post with ChatGPT, or run it through Jasper, which is even better. Use AI to your advantage. And now there's even places like videos.ai that you can go and get videos done. You really need your property. What I would recommend is if you don't have a video, I would literally take your top like 5 to 7 images and send them to somebody at Fiverr.com and have them turn those into a video for you. And that's what I would use as my primary ad. My retargeting ad is, hey, my name's Bill. I own ABC property, yada, 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 with your value propositions. And I would use that personal connection on my retargeting ads. That is the $8 strategy to start moving the needle today. Understand the buying cycle. When I say today, I'm not saying if you put up a Facebook ad today that it's literally you're going to start getting bookings today. What I'm saying is you need to start today, and literally that direct response, if you start creating that funnel, you have to have retargeting because you have to have multiple touch points. Then you will start to see bookings increase. It's also going to increase your rankings when you're sending traffic to your Airbnb listing. So I would actually, I'll get into this. I'll give it to you right now. If I'm doing this for the very first time, I am sending them to my sales page. None of you should have a website because that just confuses the whole thing. If you don't understand what I'm saying, just Google the difference on conversion between a sales page and a web page. That's why in my Host Academy program, we build out these whole funnels for you with sales pages, no websites. So send that traffic to a custom sales page that just has one property, no navigation, no menu, no social media, no way to be able to leave that page except for to X out or to get a quote or to book with you. And you're not going to have trust with your buyer, right? Because they've never seen your property. They don't know who you are. Make sure you introduce yourself, whether it's a photo and a description of you and your wife or whoever, you and your husband as a host, or put a video on that. If you notice on every sales page that I have that I'm selling something, whether it's a boot camp, or whether it's the wealth conference, whether it's, a couples retreat, whether it's my Host Academy program, there's always a video from me explaining the program and giving you my personal guarantee. So that goes a long ways. But here's the biggest thing. You need Airbnb and Vrbo for social proof. So show them, literally, I would have a section on your page, show them some testimonials, some reviews, your 3 strongest ones from Airbnb or Vrbo. Put their links to your Airbnb and Vrbo. If they book there, great. I know we want direct bookings, but they're not going to trust you in many respects because they hear all the negative stories and everything about, people getting screwed on their vacation rentals or whatever that is. So use those 2 platforms as trust agents, and that will help you with your conversion. There, my friends, is the $8 marketing strategy, specifically in those 3 markets with major cities that you can tap into and have thousands of people viewing your ads within hours. Hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, just leave a comment down below. If you found any value, don't forget to subscribe. It would mean the world if you'd take 10 seconds and leave a review for me. Have a great day, everybody, and happy hosting.